your energy on the floor.
Let's go, Nano!
Together, man.
Together.
Where we're at right now, we gotta fight. Here we go.
ISBA has faced many challenges throughout the years, including the recent lockout that ended on October 12th. Once the lockout ended, the coaches of ISBA hit the floor in a major way. Activity was high during the opening weeks of OA and many storylines emerged as you might expect. The Andy vs Vince rivalry heated up after an explosive game they played that saw Boston build a big lead only to lose it to a heroic comeback effort from the Miami Heat that included a 39-point performance from MVP candidate LeBron James. Andy insisted the loss wasn't a big deal after the game, stating that he didn't want to give up all his secrets in the regular season game. A tactic he credits Paul for giving him. Still, the win gave Miami credibility, and showed the rest of the league that Miami was for real. Vince and the Miami Heat would face adversity along the way. They lost games to the Rockets, T-Wolves, Knicks, and Nets. All 4 games at home against human coaches in a relatively short time span.
And the crowd has gone silent. Certainly disappointment for James, who had 30 points.
The Heat overcame that slump and got their groove back. Miami was the first team in ISBA to clinch a playoff spot this season. They are healthy and poised to make a title run. With the Miami Heat cruising along, other teams in the Eastern Conference were making moves to try and keep up. The Brooklyn Nets acquired Paul Millsap in the blockbuster trade with the Utah Jazz. They would also add Raja Bell, Beans, and Buki to round out their roster. The moves paid off for the Nets, as they have held firm in the second spot in the East most of the year, and became the second team in ISBA to clinch a playoff spot this season.
Hello, Brooklyn!
The Sixers made a big trade of their own by sending Andrew Bynum to Portland for LaMarcus Aldridge. The Sixers also added free agent Rudy Fernandez to a multi-year contract. The Sixers have several quality wings and appear to be a legit threat in the East. The Raptors got off to a hot start and led the Eastern Conference for a while before encountering some struggles in human games. Many of his fellow coaches were critical of the Raptors initially, stating that they were simply beating up on computer teams and they weren't to be taken serious yet. The losses started to pile up and Sukun was feeling the frustration. "I'm extremely disgusted by my play. Fuck this." Toronto is still expected to make the playoffs, which would be a positive step in Sukun's comeback. The Knicks have been under the radar all season, but will be a threat come playoff time. Justin is an accomplished coach, and he has led the Knicks to victories over several good human coaches this season. In addition, they signed Tracy McGrady to add depth off the bench. With Carmelo Anthony as a MVP candidate, the Knicks have the looks of a team you don't want to face in the playoffs. The Eastern Conference is highly competitive this season, which will make the playoffs highly unpredictable.
You have cancer?
They found it yesterday.
They found it yesterday?
Who found it?
My cleaning lady found it in the back of my jeans. Who do you think found it?
You're gonna be okay. Every celebrity beats cancer. Tom Green, guy from Dexter, Lance Armstrong, he keeps getting it.
You really think that a girl's gonna go for me just because I have cancer? Yes! Great song.
Totally.
I have cancer.
I was wrong. It was weird. It's weird like that.
50-50, rated R.
Nice head. Can I touch it?
You can do more than touch
Okay.
it.
It seems like every year you have coaches coming and going or getting fired for various reasons. This season has been no exception. The first real loss to ISBA was the Utah Jazz coach, quitting because he felt the OA was too competitive for him. He was a good man, and will be missed by the organization. The Clippers announced the hiring of I Get Buckets on October 26. 12 hours later he was fired for his play style. He also tried to trade Chris Paul during his brief stint as head coach. David Stern had to fire STB from his post as Thunder head coach due to inactivity and excessive time spent on Netflix. Dave Evolution was also fired by Stern on the same day. Inactivity was the reason given. Last but certainly not least, the Indiana coach was fired on October 29 because of excessive complaints about his play style. The Pacers coach went down with the fight and blasted the OA with a huge rant at the forum expressing his displeasure with the organization. The Indiana coach was well liked for the most part, but was unable or unwilling to conform his game to ISBA standards, so David Stern fired him in the middle of a game.
It was probably a good idea to get rid of me before I swept that cheese and pussy Vince in the playoffs. I gotta say I foresaw this, but the enjoyable part is telling you guys you're a bunch of pussies who can't play with others. Enjoy your computer games. You're fucking idiots. You guys don't want cheese yet all you do is cheese. Keep up the work with ISBA. It's the only chance you have to experience any kind of success in this game.
Following a game between the Sixers and Rockets, Bounce called out Royce White for being nothing more than a stat padder. He also referred to the rookie as a hoax. Luka was quick to fire back and defend his player during a sit-down interview.
Bounce is mad because I used Royce as a point guard. He's the facilitator of my offense, while others are spot-up shooters. I don't improvise, I call plays. I don't care if he doesn't recognize them or not.
On November 1st, the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves was fired by David Stern for an exchange that was made during trade discussions. Mulak was surprised by the quick firing and so were others around ISBA as a few coaches showed support for Mulak and demanded that he be reinstated. The next Hall of Fame class will be inducted soon. The official announcement is coming on Tuesday. The regular season is all but over and the playoffs are almost here. Who will rise to the occasion and become the first ISBA champion of the year? Will the Lakers recover from their subpar regular season and put together a championship run? These questions will be answered and more as an exciting season of ISBA is winding down.